Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our UA25 webinar. Today we have Megan Bennett from OIT joining us to share a little bit about their office and what they do. So I'll turn it over to you, Megan, and let you tell us about who you are and what the purpose and mission of your office is.
Sounds great. And I'm going to share a presentation. Oh, wait, it looks like you might have to enable that. So while she does that, my name is Megan and I work for the Office of Information Technology at the University of Alabama. So our office, let's see here, if I can get this pulled up for all of us. Our office just has two primary responsibilities. We work to provide innovative and reliable IT services for the campus. So innovative in that we want students to have cool technologies and be able to use their Apple Watch to open their residence hall, but reliable in that we want it to work, right? So those are the two main things that we strive for: innovative and reliable IT services for students to accomplish their goals here at the University of Alabama. So I work as the Director of Customer Relations, and it's my responsibility to be the link between the campus community and the OIT organization. So today I'm going to share with you highlights of a few of our services. I'm just going to hit some high points for you. Please know that more information about all of this can be found on our website, oit.ua.edu. All right, so we'll go ahead and dive right in. First, we'll talk about the service that most students know us by, and that's Wi-Fi. We got to stay connected, right? So we have a few different networks here at the university. First is EduRoom. This is our main campus network, and all students, even incoming students, can connect with their Crimson email address and their MyBama password. So this is for all smartphones, tablets, laptops. Everything should connect to EduRoom. The cool thing about EduRoom is that thousands of other schools across the US and even internationally, back when we're traveling again one day, all of those schools use EduRoom too. So if you happen to have a student at another school and you visit their campus, you can be connected to EduRoom, your student can. So UAB, even Auburn, lots of schools use EduRoom. So it's a cool partnership. Then we have another network called PSK, and this is for students who live on campus, and this is for gaming and streaming and multimedia devices. So all students can connect with the password Capstone 1831, and at move-in time, this will be posted in the residence hall. So you don't have to remember this now, but just remember that there's another network that can be used just for gaming and streaming. And so it will work well on those types of devices like a smart TV or PlayStation or things like that. Then, most importantly for you guys, is that we have a guest network. So parents and visitors can self-register and connect to the UA Guest Network. You'll just select that network from your mobile device or whatever device you're connecting, and you'll self-register and connect just like you would at a hotel or something like that. Super easy. One note that wireless internet is available all across our campus. We have almost 9,000 wireless access points across this campus. I'll date myself and tell you that when I was a student, we had about 2,000. So we're constantly adding wireless access points to make the network really strong for all of our students and all of our guests so that you can be connected everywhere that you go on campus, and especially in residence halls. So sometimes parents or students might think that they might need to bring a hotspot or Wi-Fi extender or something like that to campus. That is not the case. We provide the internet for you, so take advantage of it. Next up is free software. So students, this is a major perk for students. They get access to about 40 different free software packages. And all of these can be found on our website. I've got the link right here, oit.ua.edu/software. These are a few of my favorites that I'll point out. That first logo, some of you might be familiar with it, but if you're not, it's Adobe Creative Cloud. And this includes Photoshop, InDesign, Dreamweaver, Spark, Lightroom, a lot of cool software that students can create presentations, videos, graphic elements. And this isn't just for the advertising majors or the marketing majors. This is available to all of our students. So engineers can create cool things with it, business majors, accountants even. So we've got a lot of cool tools that are available to all students. Another one in the middle there is Box. And Box is unlimited cloud storage. So we always ask students to save things to the cloud because things happen to laptops, right? Things happen to flash drives, and we want everything stored securely in the cloud so that students can access it anywhere and it's backed up. So students can use that to store all of their files. And then next is Office 365. So this is Word, PowerPoint, Excel, those tools that we all need to be successful. And students can have this one on up to 5 different devices simultaneously, which is great. So maybe they have it on their phone, their tablet, and their laptop, and then they've got 2 other options where they can sign in. More information about each of these software packages is available on our website. One common question is, when can students take advantage of this software? Because of just licensing agreements, we normally make software like this available to students about a week or so before classes start. And so that's just to make sure that we are licensing official University of Alabama students. So about a week before classes start, students can visit our software catalog and go ahead and download these things and get them set up on their computer so that by the time classes start, they are ready to roll. So again, these are just 3 of my favorites. There's about 40 different packages that students can download there. Others that might be of interest, if there's any engineers in the house, MATLAB is a very popular one for them, SPSS, statistical software. There's a lot of cool tools, and we definitely encourage students to take advantage of this. Students have access to all these tools throughout their time at the university, and then after graduation or commencement, or after they depart from the university, then the software will no longer be available. So while we're talking about Office 365, I want to talk about student email. So today, as of this recording in March 2021, student email is housed through Google and it's supported through Gmail. So we are making the move to Microsoft Office 365 for student email. We are doing this in May, so hopefully by the time that some of you come to campus for a Bama Bound or attend a virtual Bama Bound session, this will be done, fingers crossed. But we are moving student mail from Google to Microsoft for several different reasons. First, all UA faculty and staff email is hosted in Microsoft, and we want to get everybody in one environment. Right now, we're supporting 2 different ones, and there's really no need for it. The Microsoft environment offers everything that students need. Next up, another reason is cybersecurity. So we have great cybersecurity controls on faculty and staff email. And when we get student email in the Microsoft O365 environment, we'll be able to put those same security measures on student email, which is really important. And we'll talk about cybersecurity in just a minute. And then increased collaboration is another reason. So when students and faculty are in the same environment, they can use the tools a lot better. So we encourage students to use things like Microsoft Teams, OneDrive, which is another cloud storage platform. Microsoft has a lot of different tools, and that we hope when student email is supported by Microsoft that it will be more functional for them to use those tools. More information about this, of course, is on our website, again, oit.ua.edu. We've got step-by-step instructions for how students can log in and access their mail. Basically, it's my Bama username at crimson.ua.edu, and then their my Bama password. So that is the email spiel. And again, more information is on our website. I mentioned that cybersecurity is a key component to why we want student and faculty and staff email all in the same environment with the same security measures. And one key reason for that is phishing emails. I'm sure everybody can think of an email that they've gotten. I mean, I saw one in my inbox today, my personal Gmail trying to sell me, I don't even know, something, pretending to be Amazon or something like that. So we get phishing emails all the time in personal email, and our security team does a great job here at the university of protecting our UA accounts from such messages. So phishing emails, if you're not familiar with it, is just any kind of message that tries to trick you into giving up sensitive information. And so right now students are targeted a lot. And so we always encourage students to be aware of phishing emails and know what to look for, so that if they get one that they feel is fishy, they can look for these red flags and understand it. So one thing that we encourage students to do is look at the email address that it comes from. All official University of Alabama emails will be from a ua.edu email address. Sometimes I've got a screenshot there of an example below. malicious actors will send messages to students saying, we want to offer you a part-time job. We want to pay you $1,000 and you only have to work 2 hours remotely a week, right? So we tell students, if it's too good to be true, it's probably a scam. So be on the watch out for those. And this is good advice for anybody, not just University of Alabama students, but whenever there is links in emails, you can hover over those with your mouse and you can see the destination where that link's taking you before you click on it. So we always encourage people to hover over links and emails before you click so you know where it's taking you before you go. And again, if it's too good to be true, it's probably a scam. So this is just a little cybersecurity message for parents and for students and families. One thing that we do at the university to protect student accounts against any kind of cyber malicious activity is Duo. Duo is our two-factor authentication system. So basically it adds that second layer of security to a student's email and MyBama accounts. There's a lot of sensitive information in MyBama and we want to do everything that we can to protect it. So basically how it works is students will enter their MyBama username and password. And then once they've set up Duo, they'll get a notification to their smartphone and the notification will have the green check mark or the red X. And if the student is attempting to log in, they tap that green check mark and they get into their account, no problem. Now, if they got that notification and the student did not request it, that's when they tap that red X and whoever's trying to get into their account will be locked out. So again, it adds that second layer of security to their MyBama accounts. You might be familiar with similar systems. Gmail offers something called two-step. So this is something similar to that, but it's what we do to protect student accounts. We were the first school in the SEC to put Duo on student accounts. So roll tide to that, right? We actually went and taught Auburn and Mississippi State how to use it. So just know that we're a leader in the cybersecurity area. We always like to brag about that. But the important thing here is that Duo should be set up on the student's device, not a parent's device. So every time a student logs into MyBama, they're going to get that notification. And we want it going to the right phone. So make sure that this is set up on the student's device, not the parent's device. We do have a remember me for 30 days option that students can choose. So they check that box to remember me, and then they really only have to do it once every 30 days. So that is Duo. We are happy to have it. And before we had it in place many years ago, student accounts were compromised because students didn't always have the strongest passwords. Now that we have Duo in place, we are not seeing student accounts compromised. So it is doing what it has intended to do. So a couple more facts about Duo. All students are eligible to use Duo when they are admitted to attend the university. So if you're watching this, chances are you're probably already eligible to start using it. Your student is, but students are required to use it about a week after classes start. And so what that means is we will lock students out of their account if they're not using Duo. That's more work for them to unlock it, and it's more work for me to unlock it. So we ask all students to go ahead and start using it now. Students already have sensitive information in their accounts that we need to protect. You can register multiple devices. So I said, make sure that the student's device is the one that's registered. But let's say your student has an iPhone and an iPad. You can register both so that if one's ever dead, the notification will go to the other device. There is a passcode option, and we have step-by-step instructions on that on our website. So if your student ever loses their phone, we kind of have a round the door option where students can answer a few security questions and get a passcode to get access to their accounts. And then just a final note that parents should log in through the parent or desk link at mybama.ua.edu if you ever need to log in and obtain any assets or things like that. Parents should have their own guest account, not logging in through the student's account. So that is Duo two-factor authentication. And then the most important thing that I want you guys to know today is that we have an IT service desk here on campus, and all we do is help students, faculty, and staff with any technology questions or issues that arise. So we're in Gordon Palmer Hall, but we're also available remotely. So sometimes students might want to set an appointment to come in and see us, or they can just call or email and our teams will be available to help them out. We also, our phone line is open 24/7. So if it's move-in time and students are trying to set up a PlayStation after hours or something like that, they can call 205-348-5555 and our after hours support team will help them out. So make sure your students know about this. because we're here to help them. We know technology questions and issues arise. That's just kind of the nature of IT. And so we are here to help you. So how'd I do, Tawana? Any questions?
So yes, you did great, Megan. I do have maybe two follow-up questions. So parents may have questions about Blackboard. Is that something that your office handles, or is there another office that they would need to contact about that? Because they hear IT and information, they think, oh, Blackboard, I will go to this office. So
For
can you kind of
sure.
clarify?
Yeah, so we have and I'm gonna pull up a link here so that everybody can, so I can share my screen and show you. So our organization, there's a lot of IT things that we support at the university. And so we have a dedicated office as a part of ours called the Center for Instructional Technology. And so this team is devoted to all things instructional technology. So think of things that students would use in a classroom or learning setting. So things about Blackboard, Panopto, Zoom, things like that. And so we've got all of them listed here, and we've got a support team who only works with instructional technologies. So you can reach these folks. cit.ua.edu is their specific website to get more information. And again, same thing as our IT service desk. They can email, call, or book a virtual help session, and we are happy to answer any questions that you have. And students, we have a lot of different tutorials and step-by-step guidance here. So we encourage students to check out all these resources.
Thank you so much. And there was one more thing that I wanted to see if you can kind of touch on. So I know you talked about Box and students using Box, and after they graduate, then they lose access to that information. So would you encourage students to store their personal information on Box, because they will lose access to that? Can you give them something that they maybe could do to kind of keep that information?
For sure. So we encourage cloud storage all the time. I use Box and I use OneDrive. So I use two different platforms. I've been kind of testing them out, and I think I like OneDrive better just because it syncs to my desktop really well. But as long as students are here and enrolled in courses, they are able to use these tools. Now, after they graduate, of course, we wish we could provide free software to alumni for life, but it's just not reality, right? And so after students graduate, I send an email to every single graduating student and let them know where to move things and when to move things. And so I encourage students to use Box and OneDrive for anything that they want to, as long as they're a student. But then after graduation, they'll need to set up a personal Box account or a personal OneDrive or a personal Gmail account with cloud storage, whatever they're comfortable with. Or, they can just come back to grad school and just, get another degree here and keep those services. But what's important is to be able to move those things to another location after students graduate. Yep. But while you're here, use it up. It's what it's here for.
Thank you so much, Megan. I think all of this information was helpful, and it will be helpful as students come into the university. We're excited to have UA 25 and being able to service them and to meet their needs. And so we thank all the families who have taken time out of their day to watch this video and just spend some time with us. And we look forward to seeing you on campus. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.